Do you want to know why I love being a psychotherapist? I love being a psychotherapist because I love being around people that want to improve and become the better version of themselves. It's literally like an addiction to me. It's an inspiration to me. It touches my heart, it touches my life, and makes me a better version of me. It's an incredible experience to get to practice solution-focused brief therapy and for people to grow and become the best version of themselves right in front of you. In fact, I would argue that that's what psychotherapy should be about. Unfortunately, I think psychotherapy has changed over the years and it's become like a method of solving people's problems. But I hope that we can kind of change that and turn it into a method on how to help people evolve and become the better version of themselves. That's a hard thing to articulate, I think, but really at the core of psychotherapy is people wanting to be the better version of themselves. Now, that usually would involve removing the depression or the anxiety or the drugs and alcohol or whatever the thing is that is interfering with a person's ability to be their best self. But I think when we over-focus on the problem, then we miss an opportunity to inspire and we miss an opportunity to help people get to the evolution of being the best version of themselves. And I want to talk about that evolution. I want to talk about that self-improvement at the core of the human experience today. So welcome back to the aha moments, where every day I share the lessons I've learned in my work as a psychotherapist and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. Of course, I'm your host, Elliott Connie. More than anything, I want people to understand that no one's life is perfect. And once we understand that, then we understand how futile it is to focus on problems. Because if you focus on problems, right? Like here's what most people do. As a method of trying to improve their lives, they scan their lives for problems. Like, oh, I need to get healthier. I need to stop drinking. I need to stop smoking cigarettes. I need to do whatever. So scan their lives for problems. I need to be more disciplined. I'm not as focused, whatever. We scan our lives for problems. And then we try to work on or fix those problems. But the difficulty with that is, in order for that to be effective, there would have to be a point where you got completed. And you know, that satisfaction of so I'm sitting in my office, I recently cleaned it. And I came in here with trash bags. I actually had my cameraman with me and he helped me. And we removed everything. We cleaned everything. We swept and vacuumed. My cameraman was helping me because A, he's a friend, and B, he was helping me set up this camera, lights, and the lights you see behind me. He was helping me turn it into a more appropriate recording studio. And I remember getting done and standing in the doorway, looking in the office and feeling this tremendous sense of satisfaction. Oh, we did that. You know, we did that task. We finished the job. And that was a wonderful, tremendous feeling. And I think if you try to fix the problems in your life, that's never going to happen, because there's never a point where the room is clean, right? There's never a point, because once you address one thing, another thing will pop up. So it's just futile to focus on problem removal. But what is very important is to focus on personal growth. Because as you grow and evolve, when you notice problems, you will also discover that you view yourself as being resilient enough to address the problem, right? You will also view yourself as being resilient enough to handle the struggle. You will also view yourself as being resilient enough to deal with the difficulty, whatever the difficulty may be. I think the key here is you have to accept that your life will contain problems, but also accept that my life contains the ability to focus on the best version of me and focus on who I am. And when you do that, your life becomes richer and more fulfilled. So the key here, I think, is just to love yourself enough and trust the process enough to realize that I can get satisfaction. I clean the room, and there's a moment it's like, okay, the room is cleaned. But that won't matter unless, in my life, that won't matter, because there's never going to be a point where it's like, okay, my life is cleaned. I'm going to have to address it by becoming the best version of myself. Thanks for being here. If you wouldn't mind doing me a super huge favor, I would love it if you would share this podcast with at least one person in your life that you think could benefit from hearing this message today. And also don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen to your podcast. And also follow me on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. You can search for my name, Elliott Connie, or at Elliott Speaks. That's my handle across all platforms. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.